Alrighty, welcome back to Professor Hartman. This is crappy video number 4. So let's keep rolling. This is going to be the crappiest one of all because it is probably the driest topic I plan to cover. But it's important enough that I don't want to never talk about it. I don't want you to never know about this. And I don't know. It's just if you're serious about game design, you should at least know what this is so that if it ever comes up, you're not clueless. So there is a thing called the MDA framework. It was began in an article, an academic paper called MDA, a formal approach to game design and game research. And it was, it came out in the early 2000s, I think 2002. And it was Robin Hunicke, Marc LeBlanc, and Robert Zubek. And it is definitely one of the most rigorously academic attempts to diagnose or analyze game design or give you a process for analyzing game design. And it's highly criticized, and it really isn't. I've never sat down in a meeting with game designers and said, let's look at the MDA. It just doesn't happen. Maybe it happens other places. If somebody has experienced it, please tell me. But it is important. I want you to know about it. So let's blast our way through. So what is the MDA framework? It involves 3 basic categories: mechanics, dynamics, and aesthetics. And let's not repeat the error of video number 2, and let's shrink myself. Look at that. Look at that. Learning lessons. Learning lessons. All right, mechanics. This one's pretty clear. Probably game mechanics, how the game is set up, constraints of the game, actions players can take, the effects actions have on the game state, when and how the game ends, if it ends, and how is resolution or a winner determined. Those are the game mechanics. Sometimes they might say this is the code plus the rules. Dynamics. This is the play of the game, how the game plays. Strategies that players use, strategies that could emerge. Some strategies you plan for, some are emergent, some are completely unpredictable. This is how players interact with each other, how they interact with the game. Some might say this is behaviors and processes in the game. That's the dynamics. And then last are the aesthetics. Now, a lot of people quickly just assume that means what it looks like. And yes, that's part of it. But this is the game experience. This is the effect the mechanics and dynamics have on the player. Is it fun, frustrating, boring, interesting? Is the game intellectually challenging? Does it have emotional impact? Is the game a pleasant sensory experience? Are the patterns and decisions interesting? All these questions. So, in the game design process, game design is what they call a second order design problem. What that means is designers do not define the solution, they define something that creates the solution. So, what that means is they don't decide what you're going to do, they create all these systems to motivate you to do things, and then hopefully you will do them and have fun in the process. And this is one of the reasons why game design is hard. You don't know what players are going to do. You don't know how they're going to react to your systems. You don't know if they're going to understand your systems. So, yeah, that's a challenge. Now, basically summarizing the value of MDA, why do I think it's still useful for you to know what they are? I think it is at least interesting to think of games as being broken into these 3 categories: the game mechanics, everything you've done to make the game what it is; the dynamics, the things that evolve out of it, strategies, style of gameplay; and then aesthetics, just the way you feel, the overall experience of the game. Sometimes it is useful to think of games by those 3 things, but yeah. So now you know what the MDA is. Thanks a lot. Like I said, I know this is a particularly dry topic, but I don't want you to go through life as a game designer and not know what it is. So, congratulations.